Welcome, my lovelies. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always. Right, so today, if you haven't already guessed, I've decided to have a cold. Sore throat, very aching round the ears. Normally I'm a lot worse if I have something wrong with me. Normally it's man flu and all hell breaks loose. I'm a man, what can I say? You ladies would have just carried on and not even realised that you'd had it, no doubt. But actually, I don't feel that bad. I am drinking hot lemon and honey. Cheers. Which is lovely. Okay, so by the end of this video, as it will take a few days to film, because I'm going extremely extremely slow at the moment, but I just lying in bed last night, I was just feeling my usual guilt that I hadn't already started on another video for you guys, and I'm sure I do all this more for you than for me, I have to say, because it's just a wonderful thing to do, to get out there and talk to people. And I know there's people across the world right now sitting, watching and listening, so I just have to thank you for that. I appreciate it 100-fold. But today, this is now, I think, I keep forgetting the numbers now. It will be correct on the video title, but I think this is Art Deco Dollhouse part 15. Who knows? Oh my God, who cares? So what I wanted to do today in this part of the video, I thought I was closer to the end of the house than than I actually was. Well, building it, installing the architecture, but yes, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, another friend came round to see us, and hadn't seen her for a little while, and she was asking all about how I was getting on down in the workshop. So I came down and showed her the Art Deco house as it was, and seeing it in real life, she says, was a completely different. It's absolutely amazing, apparently. So better than real life. So but as she looked at it, which was really I was very pleased that she had come and looked at it, because all of a sudden she pointed out an obvious mistake, one that I had completely and utterly forgotten. In my head at night when I'm lying in bed and I'm decorating and I'm building it and whatever, I just had a set thing in mind at one point. This is what I'm going to do here, can't wait to do it, blah blah blah. So I will have another sip of my hot lemon. Very nice. Of course, John Boy made it for me. He's a good boy, is John Boy, he really is. He does look after me. So I'm going to show you where we were up to last time on the house, as I haven't touched it yet, but I have started building what needs to be built next. And someone may have noticed this when they saw the last video, and may be questioning it to themselves. So I'm really pleased that she saw this. So, and now I know I can alter things to make it work. So let's get on and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we have the house at the moment. As I say, it's got quite large now. And here we have the sun lounge on the top, which I'm absolutely loving. I can't wait to start putting pieces in there. And as I said, you need to be able to get up into the sun lounge on the roof. So there are the stairs from the workshop, or the studio. But as I was showing my friend, and she's looking and she's seeing the elevators and blah blah blah, and she said to me, so how do the guys get from their bedroom up onto their studio? to be able to get up into the sun lounge. So there you are. I had forgotten some way or method of getting up onto this floor. So now we are going to have 5 elevator shafts. 1, 2, going up, ladies and gentlemen. 3, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will be the 5th one. So I'll just get a piece of paper and I'll just pause for a moment and I can show you what I've got to do here. Okay, so the lift shaft has to come up here. What I had done in my head, I'd organised a planter here, a rectangular planter at the back wall with a climber going up this wall. That's not to be now, because obviously we need to be able to get up onto this floor. So what I did first of all was to cut the same size surround as I did for all the other elevators, and lo and behold, the building is too small there. So if I just drop this down, what I did was to get a piece of paper, an A4 piece of paper, squish it in there and rub my fingers down it so I got a line, and then cut that shape out. So I've got that shape there. And then what I did was to get a piece of wood that was the same width as this here, but it was about a couple of inches higher, just a rectangle. And then I drew this shape on it first of all, and then moved up a couple of inches and drew another section so it was very similar to that section. And then I'll just grab the piece of wood. Here we are. So if I put this, it's hard trying to do this and look at the camera at the same time. That might fall off, although it is the same width as the back of the house. So I've cut a bit there to fit. There's a tiny hairline gap in there, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to glue it, and then I'm going to wood fill it, sand it, and then paint it, give it a few coats of paint. So when that's finished, you won't even know that it has been altered or changed. And there's a bigger flat bit on the top there, but that's okay. No one would know any different. So if I put this in now, oops, the lift, then you can see, yeah, sort of. And then you can see it does actually fit. And then I'll put the elevator doors in, which I'm in the middle of making, another set. And then I might build some kind of little canopy or something just coming out here. So if it was a wet day and raining, at least they'd come out and it would just be sheltered a bit there. And then they just have to nip into the 2 doors there into the studio. So that's fine. So I shall glue this and rebuild it. We can rebuild it.
Okay,
and then
folks,
we'll see how
here we go. This is the 5th floor going up. So there's the elevator doors in there coming out onto the balcony of the house. As you can see as well, here I've added the extra piece of wood joined, so you can't see that it's been joined, so that's fine. And I have been down to my local beach and got a small handful of sand and mixed it into the paintwork and repainted. So it just looks a bit more like pebble dash or stonework, more than just pieces of wood. I think you'll agree it looks better than if I come down here and you can just see wood frame round here. It looks like wood, which it is, but on here it looks a little bit more like a building. So I've started doing that down this side of the building, and I'll carry on across it as I have time. So if we come from there, we're going to come back down to the next floor down, come across here and go into the bathroom. And yes, I have done a bit more to the bathroom. If I come in here, hopefully you can see this. Sorry about the light. I can't really get the light properly on here. But there's a mural on the wall there of a street in New York. It's black and white, and just the taxis are picked out in the yellow. The most iconic thing, one of the iconic things in New York. So that's, as I said, the guys wanted drama in their their house. So why not have a big mural in the bathroom? I shall carry on doing that. Oh, and you can see the light fixture here, the very, very Art Deco light fixture that goes with the silver on the ceiling. If I come down here and lift this up, I'll show you. The lights come from the Dollhouse Mall. They're cheap. They're not that expensive at all. But as you can see, I bought a few of them. I think there's still, yeah, there's another 2 in there that I've wrapped in this bag just to keep them nice and secure. But you just get them and bend them down into a box shape, and then you can wire them up, put your own bulb in there, and you have your own Art Deco lamp. Very cool. So I'm going to carry on making the bathroom cabinets for that room. So we'll get those done next. Before I carry on with the cabinet, I'm just putting the handles on the another door. Just a tiny dab of super glue. Sometimes if you use wood glue and the glue might be showing, if it's a tiny thing like this, then it dries discoloured, and it doesn't look too good. But a tiny dab of super glue works wonders. For the right materials. Obviously super glue doesn't glue everything. It's not that super. There is no super glue. Right, there we are. That's I've done a plain white door here with the black handle version, and that's going from the studio. That goes from the studio into the guest bedroom. So I shall leave that up there to dry at the moment, out of the way. And John Boy and me, we watch a lot of the Poirot series. They've been out for many years, and so we watched all of them years ago. We're watching them all again now. Oh, cheers, by the way, everyone. I hope you have your drink with you and relaxed, sitting with us in our huge room that I like to think we're sitting in. Yes, so we've been watching the Hercule Poirot series, and last night we were watching one, and they went into this apartment, somebody's building where they lived, and it was a huge big wooden front door, and as they opened it, the handles on the door were exactly like that, with a great big bar being held at the top and the bottom. And excuse me, and I just looked shocked. I had to pause it quick and say, "Look, that's the handles I've done for the doll's house." So I felt quite pleased that what I thought looked like a bit like an Art Deco design actually is. Who knew? Who cared? Excuse me for coughing. I have to say, I've had a cold that John Boy had, and then I took it off him. He likes to share, and it turned into a chest infection because I'm asthmatic. So obviously it had to go one step further. So at the time of this video, I am on penicillin antibiotics. I'm on day 4 now, so I feel a lot livelier than I did on day 3, day 2 and day 1. So right, at the moment I am painting one of the bathroom cabinet doors that I have built. It's a lot of, some people sometimes think, oh, I would just buy things, I wouldn't think about building them, too difficult. But you know they're not, they're really not. You can draw your own designs, think up your own ideas, look at pictures on the internet, take photos, and then you're really just cutting up bits of wood, you know, different thicknesses. I think this is this is Obesh wood. You can get all different kinds, and just draw them out, draw the shapes that you want, cut them, glue them together. They're just little wooden boxes, aren't they? Nothing special really.
and then you jazz them up to the style that you want. So of course I'm doing 2 of these. There's a pair of them, one each side of the room, and I can hear a little cat trying to open the door of the workshop. Let me pause and see who it may be. Here is the culprit, little Georgie boy. Eh? He's looking. No, you can't play with freshly painted furniture. That's not going to happen, is it? Nigel's over there as well, so we'll put him over here. There you go. Oops. There. Right. Okay. So. Yes, so you can just make up your own. What I will say, just a little tip, I've made one already, and I'm on my second, the second one now. And the first one I made, the doors open, and they're hinged with little pins. But then when I got to the second one, I was thinking, actually, I'm not planning on opening the doors. I'm just making them so they do open, but it's a lot more work than just making them without opening. So these ones, the doors, I've just put tiny pieces of wood behind the door, just the depth of this piece of wood. I've just put a piece of wood behind it on the ceiling and on the roof, and then just push the doors in, and they sit against the little blocks of wood inside, and it just it just holds them in place while they dry. So basically it's just for show. It's my house. It's not a customer that's asked for them to be work in order or anything. But that's a lot quicker. You don't have to fuss around if you don't need to. So I'm just going to, I'll pause the video while I blow dry the unit. I'm just going to put the hairdryer on it. It takes 3 minutes and it's dry, if that, 2 minutes, and then I can carry on decorating it. It just saves waiting throughout the day for the glue to dry, paint to dry. Just blow dry everything. Right, so let me get that dried and then we'll carry on to... Oh, there you go. George has gone into the castle to terrorise the people in there that, well, they haven't moved in yet, so it's empty, so we're okay. Right, let me dry this cabinet. Okay, cabinet dry. Now for some decoration. It was over a year ago now, I think, that we were in Chicago, John Boy and me. And while we were there, we went into a small thrift shop, charity place, and had a good mooch around. I bought this little pack. It's just sort of different coloured striped card. I have no idea what its purpose was. And also a whole length of silver Greek keystone pattern on fabric. 25 cents. That's it. That was all it was. So it's a lovely fabric there, but it's quite shiny when it's metallic when it catches the light. And I bought this purposely in mind of the Art Deco house when I eventually get round to doing it, which I am now. Hurrah! So it was well worth the mooching around. So I've just cut little pieces of this, and I'm going to glue it on the front of the doors. As I'm doing this, I shall tell you, I've been remembering, I know you've all been really enjoying the stories of my tales of New York all those years ago. So I thought I'd carry on while we're working here. So I'm going to take you back to my 30s again, back into Manhattan, into the city, and we were staying with one of my partner's aunts. Her and her husband had a house upstate New York. I think it was about a 2-hour drive straight up. I think it was Poughkeepsie, around there that they live. But she had an apartment in the city that she used just for her job. Which amazed me. But she would go down there and work through the week and then come home at the weekends. So this apartment, I think it was, I can't remember exactly memorise everything, but I think it was either 53rd and 2nd or 35th and 2nd. So it was up the top on the right hand side, towards the, just off from the East River. In fact, you could see it from her apartment windows. And it was apparently, so I'd learnt, it was a very nice area to have apartments. I think the apartments on the other side of the street that faced her, when we looked out the window, Henry Kissinger had an apartment there, and I've forgotten his name now, Harrison Ford apparently had an apartment there as well. So it was quite exciting knowing this. And as she realised that I was easily excited, it didn't take long for her to work that out. She told me sort of facts about the place. And you know, when you drove into the car park, which was underneath the building, so you drive down a ramp to go into the underground car park, and you have your own allotted space. This was 23 years ago, and it was $600 a month rent to park in the car park. Let alone your rent of the apartment itself. It was just mind-blowing to me. But the first time we got there is when they picked us up from the airport, and later on we were in the apartment, and she said to my partner Dean and me, right away she was worried because I'd never been to Manhattan before or to America, and she was frantic that we would go or do the wrong things, go to the wrong places. So she gave us strict instructions not to go down 42nd Street on pain of death. So that was fine. So Dean and me left the apartment, came down to the street area, and Dean said to me, right, where do you want to go first? So of course I said, how about 42nd Street? And so we went, which could have been a really bad thing to do. And if her worries were thing-mead, I can't think of the word now, then we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here now to tell you the story. So probably looking back, it was a very silly thing to do. But no, we walked down 42nd Street, and that's when, all those years ago, when it was more the sort of strip shops, sex shops and things, and it was more of a red light area. So we strolled down. It was night time as well, and just because I'd never been in one, here we are. Let me show you so far. Art Deco uses a lot of the Greek key design, or used a lot of the Greek key design. So black and silver to go with the bathroom. So of course, yes. So I'd never been in a sex shop before, like the videos and magazines. I can't remember what they had there. So of course we both went in one of those. You had to go through a sort of strip curtain thing to walk into the shop, into the store. And we're just standing looking at racks of videos as if we're contemplating buying. And all of a sudden we heard this weird noise. And after a moment I realised it was the man standing just beside us, almost beside us, in a long plain rain mac, and he was holding one of the DVDs, reading it, and doing sort of heavy breathing. I looked at Dean, he looked at me, and we just walked straight out the shop. At that moment, I thought I was frightened for feared for my life. We so wished we'd gone along with Aunt Verna's plans and not gone down 42nd Street. We sort of got the nearest exit out as soon as possible, and I thought, oh my God, it brought it all back home, and thought this is a really dangerous place. So yes, that was my adventure of I don't know what it was called. Was it Soho? I know Soho is in London, which isn't so much like that now, but it's quite a trendy place to go. But anyway, it was the last time we went to that area. And looking on a much a much nicer note during our visit there. We were sitting talking to the aunt, and she was telling us she was a very high up in a lawyer's firm, so she had a really high-powered job. Hence, she could afford the apartment and the parking, $600 a month. I'll never get over that. And she was telling us that she says she's going to take us out and we're going to do something. And she says, and I says, oh no, don't start spending money on us. And she said, she said she'd done a deal with a group of men that came to the place where she worked, a lawyer's firm, and it was during the summer, hotter months. And she said it was a huge deal, absolutely massive deal apparently. And she got them into the room. She made sure the heating was all turned on, the air conditioning, the heat was all turned on, and you can't open the windows because it was in a high-rise building. And she wore the thinnest clothing possible to keep herself cool. And she said within the hour, the guys were all stripping off and opening their shirts and collars and ties. And she says they were just flabbergasted in the end. And she says she got the deal. And she says that was my way of talking them into it. They just signed for so they could get out the building, basically. But she got tens of thousands of dollars that month as a extra on her wages, which is, again, mind-blowing. Right, there's a couple of little handles on the front, like little square blocks there. They're from, I just bought a pack of, in a craft store. You can just buy all different beads, different colours, different shapes, and you just fill a box. So I just filled a box with all these silver things. At some point they will get used, and now 4 of them are. So there we are. So I'll show you, let me hold them both up. They're not finished yet, but here we have the 2 sets. They look the same, but these doors open and these doors don't. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. So let's go back to the original, and I shall carry on. So I'll just wash my brush out so it doesn't dry. Okay, paintbrush rinsed, saved the day. So yes, I have to say, for anyone that hasn't been there, 42nd Street cleaned itself up years later. We went back here quite a few years after that, and it was absolutely just an amazing place to be. Very touristy area, which was lovely to see. But yes, with her earning on her high wage, whatever, she just wanted to treat us. So one evening we walked down to these docks on the side of the East River. It was under a great big flyover, and it looked sort of a bit creepy down there. But we went into this little cabin through this door, and then in the cabin, it was where you paid to go on the helicopter, and they had big glass doors on the other side of the cabin facing onto the river. It was right on the river's edge, and we walked out onto a huge big decking, and there was this massive helicopter sitting there waiting to take us up into the sky. And it was, I think, if I remember rightly, some of you that have lived there or know of this, what I'm talking about, I think they did daytime and nighttime flights, and the nighttime one I think was called Diamonds by Night or Diamonds at Night, something like that. And we went up. It was the first and only time I've ever been in a helicopter, not because I've never wanted to go in one again, I just haven't been able to afford it, or had the opportunity. But it was absolutely breathtaking, literally breathtaking. We flew up out over onto the water. It flew right around Miss Liberty's head. It was so close. It was unbelievable. I can't explain it really, the feeling. And then it flew down Manhattan. We went past the Twin Towers, and it followed one of the avenues, the sort of central avenues, and round, and then back to base again. And it was absolutely just amazing, absolutely amazing. Yes, so I just wanted to tell people that was, I mean, maybe they don't do that now, after poor 9/11, poor Twin Towers. Absolutely dreadful, dreadful, dreadful time in anybody's life. But yes, I don't know, maybe they don't do them now for health and safety reasons. I mean, that would be quite understandable and sad if that's the case. Really sad. But the good thing is I was there at the time, in the time that I could get these memories, have these memories. Right, here we go. Let me hold them both up and show you. A bit dramatic, but that's what the guys want. There we are, two glamorous looking Art Deco cabinets. So, and when the light is on there, it'll sort of shine off the front of the cabinets. And it doesn't matter which one I put which side, I'm not going to open the doors anyway. So that's fine. When I said that, if you are going to, if you haven't built anything before and you're just using this a beche wood or a thin wood, then what I did the doors that do open, I just put the doors in, drilled a little hole just with a tiny drill. Actually, I'll show you in case anyone hasn't done this before. I've got them different, a couple of different drills, so I just keep different size bits in them. But you have a whole set, but just a very, very thin, just not really as almost as thin as the pin really. And then you just drill a little hole down into the top and bottom of each door, and then you measure and drill a little hole at the top and underneath the unit, underneath there, and then you can hold the door in while you push the pin up inside. Now the pin on top would show unless you paint over it really well, but in this case, because I've made the top of the cabinet there a couple of layers deep, I just glued on the first bits of wood, drilled the hole, put the doors in, fitted them, and then the top bit I just cut and stuck on the whole thing, so it covers over the hinge of the doors. If you want to do it like that, it just looks a lot neater, and then you can't see where the hinges have gone. And the hinges were I have one here still lying around there. They're just needles or pins, dressmaking pins, which I have a few thousand of them. I don't think they'll ever get used in all our lifetimes. So, and you just cut them in half and cut the head off the end, and you just use that. I'll put that aside there to remind me to put that in the bin so I don't lose it. And the mirrors, they just came off you can just buy sheets of mirror basically, and they're just tiny squares. Quite amazing. I may have to use these on something else. I like the I like the shine. So okay, so I'll just put these in place and then show you, as I say, I haven't finished the wall on the bathroom, but we'll just put them in place and see what they look like, yeah? Okay, here we are. So the cabinets will go each side of the back wall underneath the mural. Sorry about my shaky hand. And I'm going to put down the sides here, I'm going to put a silver wooden strip down each side and maybe along the bottom there between the two cabinets, just to seal that off. I will paper under there the same as the wallpaper there, and the wall on this side is going to have the same paper as well. So that's just a feature wall at the back. And then hopefully the bath, whenever I get the bath, that will sit here in the middle coming out into the room. So I hope some of you like what I'm doing there. Okay, do let me know. Let's go inside. Try and get the camera then here to show you the finished effect. There we are. I've put cove in at the top as well, and the shape on the ceiling. And I framed the New York mural at the back there. I'm really, really pleased with it, and I realised the reflection on the black floor, the black vinyl floor, is reflecting the cabinets as well,
which is fantastic. So I'm really pleased with that. So hope you guys like it so far.
Okay guys, so I hope you liked the bathroom. Please let me know your comments. I absolutely love getting the comments. The more I'm getting, the more time it's taking to answer them all. Oh, and that's made me think as well. Although I say I try and answer every comment, I do. But the way it comes up on YouTube, usually there's a when you click onto the videos, it shows you how many messages there are, then you can answer them. But sometimes I've found when I scroll down the page, when I've answered a comment, I might find another one that I haven't given the thumbs up, and they haven't actually popped up as a separate message because they're within that one message. There's more than one. So it's very likely now and again I may miss a comment, but as far as I know, I answer every single one that I see. And also, if you make the effort, then I should make the effort too. Excuse me. So, and also I'd like to thank all the new people that's joining our family, our big family. Welcome to the group. Let's have one big group hug. Hurrah. Yeah, thank you very much for joining. The numbers, the subscriptions are going up a little bit faster than they were in the very beginning. Obviously more people are getting to know that I'm here, which is brilliant. So that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much, you newbies, and thank you, you oldies, for staying here, and also letting me know that I haven't lost you because I changed my screen name. I tell you, that was a worrying moment for me doing that. It was really bugging me that it wasn't the name I wanted anymore. And at the same time, I kept changing my mind, thinking, should I, shouldn't I? Now I know it's perfectly safe. So you're all still here, so I can breathe a sigh of relief, which is fantastic. So thank you very much for everyone that's been commenting. I've even had people commenting from South Africa as well. So it's all around the world, which it just thrills me to know that people out there all around our planet are watching, listening, and some of you are commenting, which is fabulous. So thank you very much. Also, I am working, I've started a video on what's behind me, my commission. So just in case, I mentioned it a while ago, so just to let you guys know now that very soon there will be a video out beginning this commission house, which I have started on. I'm trying to video bits of one, bits of the other to get the Art Deco house on as well. So it just depends on how much work I'm doing on the house when I start as to how many videos of that there will be, and then maybe one of the Art Deco here and there. We'll see what happens. But I will leave you with a tiny short piece of video. Yesterday when John Boy and me came down to the workshop, I stopped at one point and put my camera on quick, video, and videoed something really lovely that was happening in our garden. So we over it, or we ared over it, and I thought I would just add it on to the end of this video, so you guys, some of you will go as well. Okay, I'll love you and leave you and speak to you ASAP. I think I haven't got over my chest infection yet, as you can hear. I'm on antibiotics still. I've got just under half a week to go, so hopefully that will clear it up. But I think I'll get a sleeping bag here on the floor in the workshop, and just stay, like an all-night diner, but without the food, maybe with the tea and the coffee. Who knows? Yes, exactly. Who cares? Okay, guys, speak to you again soon. Take care. Love to all. Bye.
Oh, look. Babies. Hello. Oh, look at them.
Oh, bless them.
Flattening the plant.
Look how it's resilient.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little bed. Sunshine. Oh, that's really